communities.
It is under the radar. You know, because of the country that we live in, we don't necessarily have a lot of respect for our seniors. We don't value them as much as we do younger people. And I think they are often and easily overlooked by their neighbors and their families. And elder abuse can be quite hidden.
Abuse for people occurs not only in the home or home setting, but they can occur in a facility setting as well.
Well, it can look like a lot of things. It can be physical abuse, psychological abuse, financial, sexual assault can also be considered elder abuse. Basically, any maltreatment of an elder or to misuse an elder's money or resources for yourself instead of for their care can be considered elder abuse.
There are the most common types are the ones you think about: the physical abuse, the emotional verbal abuse, and sexual abuse, which is less common, and exploitation. So you kind of think of them as AIM: abuse, neglect, and exploitation. So the emotional abuse tends to be the highest, financial abuse around there, physical abuse less. But those are the types.
One of the most common types of abuse is financial exploitation. And this can be very hidden, and that might be why it's very common.
Typical day is they get up for breakfast, have their breakfast. Some people prefer to go to the dining room. Some people prefer to have the breakfast in their room. We have activities going on off and on all day. Generally in the mornings we'll do exercise programs. If they want to come out for group exercise, they can. Always have a big afternoon activity. The favorite is usually bingo. And at nighttime we have different groups that come in, church groups or volunteers that come in and do evening activities with them. So we kind of have stuff going on all day long. It depends on the type. We have 2 specialty units here. We have a specialty lockdown dementia unit, and then we also have a specialty orthopedic unit where it will be a younger group of people that are basically primarily here for therapy. And then we have our long-term care. We have a lot of preventative measures in place to prevent abuse with the staff and things like that. First of all, anybody that's hired here, they get a background check. We do a drug screen. We check the nurse aid abuse registry to make sure that they've not gotten in trouble for abuse before. Any of our licensed people, we check their licenses to make sure they're up to date and there's no issues with their license. And then we train people here on abuse. It can be a stressful job at times, and if they feel that they're stressed out, we want them to get away from the situation, so there is no reason for
it would be a good idea probably not to have a person who gets easily angry at older adults or doesn't have enough to eat or doesn't know how to handle issues and problems of old people. It certainly would be a mistake to hire somebody who didn't understand
all
some
the
of that.
residents that are here. We actually check the sex offender abuse registry on that, so no one here is admitted that's on that. So and then whenever we have a incident where we have a resident to resident altercation, we have policy on that where we have to separate the two residents from each other and to provide them a safe environment. And if ever we feel that somebody comes in that visits or something that's causing issues, we would actually call the authorities, call Adult Protective Services, that type of thing.
Make life better for people who might be a risk for abuse or have been. Laws really direct what happens at the state level related to the issue, particularly guardianship and mistreatment, because they are functions of that. And then agencies and entities and so forth grow up to address those issues. Some are funded by the state, some are funded by private business and industry, some are just a bunch of do-gooders who form a group and try to educate people. Some states provide more resources than others. if you're in Kentucky, if you believe somebody's being abused, neglected, or exploited, you have a responsibility by law to report it to Adult Protective Services. Kentucky is what we call an any person state, meaning any person who is suspected is a mandated reporter to Adult Protective Services and/or the police.
Well, you know, if someone tells you that they're being abused or that someone's mistreating them or taking advantage of them, the very first thing that you need to do is just believe them, and also to make a report to the state. You can call. If it's something immediate and this person is in danger, you can call 911 and tell them this person is in danger. If it's something to do with financial abuse, you can call the Elder Abuse Hotline, which is 1-800-752-6200. And that is a state hotline for Adult Protective Services. And that person can go out and interview that elder and talk to them about what's going on.
Or you take them out of a home situation, you certainly want to be sure that the people who are providing that care have the right tools to do it and have the right psyche to do it too.
We do. We work with other agencies within Lexington. That I am part of the Bluegrass Area on Aging and Independent Living.
Okay.
And so, therefore, there are 17 other counties that provide services, senior services in senior centers. And then we work closely with, of course, agencies like the Nursing Home Ombudsman, of course, Meals on Wheels. We do the Elder Nutrition side with Community Action Nutrition side. Quite naturally, we work hand in hand with social services closely together in helping to combat some of the problems that the aged individuals who are the seniors are actually faced with on a day-to-day basis. Well, we start at 8 o'clock in the morning. We start at 8 o'clock and we go to 5 o'clock. Many people come past here, they assume that we are a nursing home. We're not. We're an activity center. We are a focal point for seniors to come in, and we provide activities such as table tennis, bingo, bit euchre, which is a card game, bridge. We have educational courses. We have driver's ed. We have AARP tax aid. We have many activities. The biggest activities that we just started was yoga. And yoga and Tai Chi. We want you to be able to get up, have something to look forward to. Come to the senior center, stay connected, hear what's going on in the community, stay connected in the community, be able to stay active, and keep your brain healthy. So that's mainly what we want to do.
Yeah.
But people have to be aware and need to know that becoming depressed, becoming isolated, being dirty, being confused, these are not normal parts of aging. These are signs that there could be something wrong.
There are all kinds of ways to take care of old people. One is just be a good family member, up to being a doctor or nurse who takes care of an older individual. So, I mean, that's just at the individual level.
You hear stuff on the news all the time, and unfortunately you hear all the negative things versus the positive things. And I've been a nursing home administrator for 16 years, and there's lots of really, really good nursing homes out there. And I think for the most part, no one does abuse the residents in the nursing homes. I think there's a lot of misconceptions. I mean, nobody says, when I get older, I want to go into a nursing home. Nobody says that. But sometimes this is the best place that some of these people have ever lived in their life.